Hello everybody, this is our video number 1, and from this video we will start our first chapter, that is the crop productions. Before we go into the depth of these chapters, first of all, what is the crop? So definition of the crop is the plants that are grown in a field for food are called the crop or crop plants. What is the function of this crop plant? The crop plants is produce the food. Okay? So which type of foods are produced those crop plants? For this purpose, remember this chart as per your books. So remember this chart. This chart contains the two columns, and the first column contains the crop plant, name of the crop plants, and the second column contains the type. Okay? So the first, the rice, wheat, barley. This type of crop plants belongs to a particular type, that is the cereals. Second one, the wheat, grams, lentils. It is the type of all these crop plants is pulses. Third one is the mustard, groundnuts. The type is oil seeds. Beetroot, sugar cane. The type is the sugar crop. Next one is coffee, tea, rubber. It is the type of all these plants is the plantation crop. Cotton, jute. The type is fiber. And flax, sunflower, peanuts is the type is oilseed. So remember this table. It is very important as per your exam point of view. After that, the cereals that is consumed on a large scale in a particular region is called the staple food of the region. For example, wheat is the staple food is in North India. So remember this fact. After that, the crop productions. These crop productions is depend on some agricultural task. So, what is this task? The first one, the preparation of the soil, the selection and the sowing of the seeds, enrichment of the soil. Next one, irrigation. Fifth one, weeding. Next one is the crop protection, and the last one is the harvesting. So the crop productions depend all these aspects, all these 7 aspects. Okay. So first we will discuss the protection of the soil. This protection of the soil. So first of all, this soil means healthy, which is contain the healthy specimen. That means in order to grow the quickly into the healthy specimen, plants need a soil that contain of the mixture of the clay, gravel, air, water, humus. And humus means the dead and the decaying the organic matter. Okay, so remember this one, what is the definition of the humus, or what is the meaning of the humus. Next, earthworms and even microbes such as the bacteria and the fungi. So these are the very important element for a healthy soil. Okay, and these preparation of the soils involve the 2 method, that is the First one is, this is involved with two important methods. The first one is the plowing. Plowing, or it is called tilling. And the next one is the leveling. So the preparation of the soil is involved with these two important methods. The first one is the plowing or tilling, and the second one is the leveling. So what is the plowing or tilling? There are the various ways for the plowing a field, such as the plowing by oxen or by the tractor. Remember this point. And the ploughshares nowadays are usually made of the iron, but wooden plows are not uncommon. Tilling involves the turning up of the soil to make it loose. So mainly this process is involved in turning up the soil is loose. What is the reason? What is the important to make the soil loose? That is very important. The loose the soil hold more air and more water, and this allow the root of the plants to breathe better. That means good respiration. While the wet soil helps the root to extract the water. Moreover, the loose soil helps the root to penetrate deep through the layers of the soils to anchor the plant the firmly, as well as to reach a wider area of the soil for extracting the nutrient. Okay, so and the loose soil also helps the manures and the fertilizer to mix easily. Not only this, the growth and the multiplications of the healthful microorganism is enhanced if the soil is loose. So that is the reason, and that is all these important aspect is related to the loose of the soil. Okay, so remember this point. This is very important as per your short question and as well as your long type questions. Okay, the next one is leveling. The leveling is another process which is involved to the preparation of the soil. The big clods of the earth present in the soils are broken and the soil is pressed to make it even. And this is called the leveling. So this is the definition of the leveling, and mark this line in your book. Okay? And the surface of the soil is made even in order to check the soil erosion, and the leveling of the soils make the process of irrigation uniform. Okay? In other words, the water can now be supplied evenly to the field. The leveling of the soil is done with the help of iron or wooden leveler, and this leveler can be driven by animals or by a tractor. So underline this point, the leveling of the soil is done with the help of iron or the wooden leveler, and this leveler can be driven by the animals or by the tractor. So this is the total description about the plowing or drilling and leveling, and these two important process is involved or complete the first aspect or the first aspect method of the crop productions, that is the preparation of the soil. Okay. And the next one, in the selection and the swaying of seeds. The selection of the seeds involves a lot of the precaution, as the seeds should be the healthy and disease-free. Only the clean and the disease-resistant seeds should be selected, and sometimes added the precaution. Chemicals such as the fungicides or insecticides are sprayed over the seeds. Seeds are shown while taking care of the two aspects, the right depth and the proper intervals. So the swaying of the seeds is depend on the two important aspects. The first one, underlined with these 2 points. The first one is the right depth, and the second one the proper intervals. If the left of the surface, they can be eaten by the birds, and if the seeds are shown to dip, they will not get enough air for the respiration. And germination will be adversely affected, as the shoot will have to struggle hard through the layers of the soil to reach the sunlight and fresh air. Okay? And the proper spacing of the seeds, that means swaying the seed at the correct distance from each other, is important. If the plants are shown too close, they will not be able to branch out properly. They will also not get sufficient sunlight, water and the nutrients. On the other hand, a lot of space in the field will be wasted if the gap between the seeds are too much. So these two aspects is very important to remember. A seed, the swaying the seed is the proper distance is mandatory. If you swing the seed very closely, that is create a problem, and if you swing the seed in very large gap in between the two seeds, swaying of the two seeds, these also create another problem. So remember these 2 points. By now you must be wondering at how seeds are shown in crop fields. The most common method of the swaying seeds is manual. This is done simply by the sprinkling seeds all over the field, and this method is called the broadcasting. So the swaying of the seeds is involved the 3 methods. The first one is broadcasting. Second one, using the seed drill. And the third one is the transplantation. So the swaying of the seeds is involved in these 3 methods. The first one is the broadcasting, that is the manual method. Second one is the swaying of the seed using the seed drilling device, and the third one is the transplantation. Okay? It is not very efficient method, as it does not ensure either uniform spacing between the seeds or the right depth. So the first one is not efficient, not very efficient method to measure. Because of that, to correct way or correct execution of these 2 important aspects of the swaying of the seeds. The first one, the right depth, and the second one, the right intervals. So, recover this problem, we use a seed drill is a better way to swing seeds. This device consists of the seed bowl and which is the funnel set and connected with the many tubes. And this seed drill is attached a plow, and when plow is operated, make deep furrows across the field. At the same time, the seeds are released uniformly into the furrows and through the tubes coming from the seed bowl. This method ensures the right depth and the right interval between the seeds, and it also ensures the seeds are not wasted or eaten by the rodent or bugs. Okay? And the last method, one more method of the swing seed is the transplantation. This method ensures the very good crop production. The some plants such as the tomatoes, the chilies, and the rice, onion, and the first grow in a nursery. A nursery is a small piece of the land known as a seed bed. So what is the nursery? The nursery is a place where the plants are grown in highly protected environments. And when the plants reach a certain size, they are sold to the general public, and the nurseries obtain the grow the plants in a greenhouse, which is a glass building or in a plastic tunnel designed to protect the young plants from the harsh weather, but which allow the ingress of the light and allow the ventilation. So this is the short description about the nursery. So the farmer grow the seedling here and they select the healthiest one for the transplanting. That means the transfer to the field. The method is not applicable in case of the wheat and the millet, which are directly shown in the field. The rice is called the paddy before it is transplanted to the waterlogged the paddy fields, which are in a way their beds. Okay, so this method is very useful for the such of the crop plant, that is the tomatoes, chilies, rice, and the onion, but it is not helpful for the wheat and the millet. Okay, so remember this, all this name and the reason. Okay, so this is the total elaborations about the second aspect of the crop production, that is the selection and the swing of the seeds. Okay, so that's all for the today's lecture. Thank you everybody.